position where God is saying, what is in your hands? I want to make a way for you. I want to make you fruitful. I want to create a path for you. But what is in thy hand? And we're coming up empty. Because why? We're refusing to accept that there is something in our hands. We're refusing to accept that we are called to that purpose. We're refusing to accept that this is the path the Lord wants for us. We're refusing to take on the plow. Amen. We're refusing to get to that place of really accepting who we are and who God has called us to be. Your vision and your dream should not be dead because you got married. Your vision and your dream should not be limited because you're in a particular place. Your vision and your dream should not be killed by the reason of fear. Your vision and your dreams should not be cast away because you are afraid to take a bold step. Every person here on earth, I believe every soul is called on an assignment. It's just for you to identify and find the assignment God has given to you. And many might be listening to me and saying, but I'm just a housewife. I don't believe there's such a thing as just an housewife. There is something that God has blessed you with that you need to find and look and say, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to achieve. Many can look at the woman in the book of Proverbs 31, verse 11 to 31, and say she's an housewife. But that woman was shaking. She was shaking her world. She was shaking those in her world. Her husband was being praised at the city gate by the reason of the things that she put to the ground. She may be at home, but there is something that is shaking in her world and in her husband's world for them to call her blessed. You might be saying, there is nothing I'm doing. I'm just a housewife. I'm just at home. I look after the kids. But what are you doing whilst looking after the kids? You can be looking after the kids. If you're investing the time in those children, then they must reach their goal. They must be successful. You can't tell me you're spending time looking after the children and then your children still end up wayward. They still end up in the streets. They still end up in a closed place. Spiritual attack is still fighting them. No, sister, you're not doing the right thing. It means that if you're going to invest the time and be present, be in a position to be able to be counted. And many will know that the importance of what you do is valued. Regardless of how limited it may seem, regardless of how small it may look, they will still value you. Your husband will know that without you there, the house will not stand. I don't know who I'm speaking to today. Without your presence, the house will not stand. That's a person of value. That's a very person of importance, even if just an housewife. If that's all you see, if that's all you look at. But the world look in and say, damn, that woman is good. That woman is blessed. Without her, I don't think her husband will be there. Without her, I don't think her children will be there. Without her, there is an importance of your presence. Even if you see yourself as just an housewife, don't just be just an housewife. Let it count. Let it be meaningful. Let there be an importance to the work that you do. And that can only happen by the reason of you believing that the work I'm doing, the place I'm at, what I am doing is important for God. And God has called me to this. And by the moment you start to value that, that's where people will begin to see that value in it. Amen. And many are under the sound of my voice. God has called you into business. You see your business as very small. You see it as irrelevant. You see it as nothing. But there are many crying to have such a business. There are many crying to be where you are. Everything that we do, whatever we do, if you don't see fruitfulness in it, God cannot multiply it. God cannot multiply what is dead or what you have proclaimed dead. It cannot multiply. He only multiply where there is life. He multiply where there is seed. He sees that the person putting their hand to the plow is not giving up. Is not speaking dead words into that business. Your mouth is your prophecy. And the words of the mother is law. So if you're a mother to your passion, you're a mother to your business, you're a mother to your career, and you're speaking negatively against it, God cannot change it. Because why? Your mouth has rendered it dead, useless, or it's not going nowhere. I can never get promotion. I can never be in a position that is worthy. I can never start a business. You've already told the Lord what it can never do. But God is a God of all possibilities. He's a God that can make happen and make unhappen. And if you're telling him that is already dead, why then do you need him to work? Where do you need him to start from? What action do you need him to take? But the things that we've said concerning our destiny and our purpose with our own mouth that is stopping us from enjoying the full fruitfulness of God in that area that he has placed us, that position that we're working in, that area of career that the Lord has blessed us with that we are not seeing. We need to start speaking positive to the things that we do for God. regardless of whether you think is relevant or not. That's not the case. The fact that you're there, there shall be an impact. There shall be a reason. Your workplace should know that if this sister is not in this office will not stand. That's a place of relevance. That's a place of importance. You might see yourself as just a customer service, but in that place and the diligence of your work, the value of your work should be seen and be valued and be glorifying your Father in heaven. They will see you and say, wow, how do you do what you do? How do you make this happen? And all you can say, it is God. It is God that helps me. It is God that gives me grace. That's already glorifying your Father. But if you go to work grudgingly, you wake up late, you get to the place of work, and even your appearance shows that you don't want to be there, how can they bless you? How, in fact, they will be praying for the day you don't even come in. Because why? They know that, oh God, if this lady is here, all she does is complain, moan, question. There is nothing of value she brings to this place. And eventually, you get tired. Either you walk away or they sack you. That is not what God has called us to do. He wants us to see wherever we are and the position that he has given to us as a place of importance and a place of value. Let's turn our Bible quickly to the book of Ecclesiastes. Amen. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 12 and 13. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 12 and 13. Know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. There is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. And verse 13 says, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. Enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift from God. So if you're not enjoying the labor that you have rendered, it means that you have not received the gift from God. Because when you work in purpose, in as much as it's painful, in as much as it's uncomfortable, in as much as it's tiring, there are days you don't even feel like, oh my God, I don't have the strength for this. But there is one thing that is very pivotal when you work in purpose. And what is that? There is fullness of joy. You enjoy waking up for the Lord. You enjoy doing what God has called you to do. You enjoy when lives and souls are transformed. You enjoy when people come back with good reports. You enjoy when people say, wow, what you're doing is amazing. There is this joy that comes with it. There is this blessing that comes with it. It wakes you up every day. It makes you want to just go back and do it in as much as it's difficult. It may be outside of your comfort zone. It may be something that will take a strength from you. It may be something that will require you to pull out and pull up. It may be something that will require you to get out of where you're feeling very comfortable, where you're feeling very relaxed, where people will see you and you're thinking, I can't speak in front of people, but that's what God has called you to do. There is a reward that comes with it. There is this blessing and this fulfillment when you do what and you're working in alignment with the will of God for your life.